Hi there, this is James from Junior Developer Central, and I want to welcome you back to the Google Developer Scholarship Program that I've been documenting over the last few videos. And in this video, we're going to look at Lesson 3 and see what the kind of content is and what we've been learning in this particular part of the course. So on the whole, it's kind of been a bit more practical and getting into the parts of the code that make up the application. And there's quite a lot of content for lesson 3. If you just scroll down, you can see there's about 26 different actual individual lessons that you need to go through, or little bite-sized videos and challenges. So that's the first thing that's probably different about this lesson, is that there's quite a lot of interactive elements that you need to complete before you sort of move on to the next section. Of course, the code that you've downloaded is on your computer, so the actual course has got no way of knowing whether or not you've completed that part, and other than just ticking a box to say that you've done it. But there has been a lot of hands-on bits and pieces to get going with in this particular lesson. So mentioned in lesson 2 that they introduced the principle of an offline first application and using the service worker to kind of achieve that. So this lesson's really been about how a service worker works and its life cycle, and how to actually add that into an application. So the challenges themselves were a bit tricky for me, and this probably isn't helped by the fact that I was doing the lesson in 3 or 4 different parts at various points in the week. So you kind of did it at a bit of a bit by bit process. And some of the challenges, I got to them and I wasn't really sure what they were asking me to do. And especially because the application, although it might be quite simple to someone who's kind of used to this sort of setup, finding out exactly where you've got to make the changes is a challenge in itself. They don't give you direct instructions as to where to go to actually put some of the code, so there's quite a lot of stuff that you need to kind of work out for yourself. And as with most sort of coding challenges as well, there is more than one way to achieve the end result as well, so you're kind of left to your own devices to work out the best way to do it. Of course, once you've actually completed the challenge, the instructors do give you their solution, so you can kind of compare it and then make any adjustments if you need to. So the challenges come at these sections here on the quizzes. So they give you a brief introduction, and then you kind of tick to say that you've kind of done it, because that one's literally just about the dev tools and stuff. So if you go on to like one of the challenges where they ask you to do something, so probably a good point is, even if you don't understand Git that much, they do give you the Git instructions, or commands rather, to actually get the project that you're working on into the same state that they've got it. So that's really handy, because if you did do something slightly differently or missed something in the previous step, just running those Git commands will actually get your project in the same state that theirs is as well. So that's quite handy. And yeah, so as I said, the challenges were a little bit taxing, but I don't think I helped myself because I wasn't really following it through lesson by lesson. I guess for me, there's probably not enough detail around the kind of syntax of a service worker and all the different mechanisms that it has. They do kind of skip, in my opinion, quite quickly through a lot of that. So I did do a bit of Googling, and there's actually a Google developers article, which I'll post the link just below in the video, below the video here. And it gives a really good introduction to what service workers are, and also, a little bit about their sort of life cycle and how they might be used on a page as well. It's quite interesting actually, because the example they give in this article is one of the features that a service worker might be useful for is push notifications. So to me, that might have been a better way to start the course, is just building a really simple web page, really nothing too fancy at all, and just adding push notifications to it. With this Twitter / Witter application that you've got running, it's kind of a bit complex with all the kind of workings in the background. So and as I say, the challenge for me was just understanding where some of the code went and where it should fit in with this existing application. But it could be a case of do push notifications on a really simple page first, and then build up to this kind of application and sort of make this a fully offline responsive application as it is. So that's pretty much it for the overview for this lesson. As I say, it just kind of talks about hijacking requests, intercepting those network requests before it gets a chance to kind of like fail. So you kind of like caching sort of pages and assets. And that's kind of pretty much the nuts and bolts of this lesson. So just to summarize again, I guess the lessons could probably do with a bit more detail, and that lesson, that article that I'll share with you about service workers is definitely something to read probably first before going through it, simply because you'll have a bit of a background and all the lessons then will make a little bit more sense as well. So that's it for this video, just summarizing lesson 3 of the Google Developer Scholarship Program. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can follow along with the rest of the videos, and I'll give you an update on lesson 4 as soon as I've completed that. So that's the end of this video, and bye for now.